Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Inner Sanctum Voxcast, episode 5. Joining me today is Lokmhar, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey, like you said, I'm Lokmhar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Do you have any Twitter, any Instagram or so that you would like to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, I mean, I got a Instagram. The handle I don't know on the top of my head, but
Well, figure that out. I'll link it in the
I
description.
mean,
but
you follow me there anyway, so that's fine.
fair point.
Same goes for my Twitter. But my Twitter is
fair
just
point.
at Lokmhar, Lokmhar.
Yeah,
M-H-A-R.
both will be linked in the description. Yeah.
I always spell my own name wrong.
Yeah, I was sitting with that when I was planning. I was just like, is the H first or is the
Yeah.
M first? Is the H before the K? No, yeah. It was a bit of thinking, but
Yeah.
thankfully Discord was one click away, so I could double check.
Long live Discord.
So, yeah, I know. Or well, lately it's been a pain. It's been dying. It feels like left and right. Like messages don't send.
I haven't had that problem
Servers don't load. Oh, lucky you.
It's also mainly because I
legit-
just see messages popping up and I'm like, oh yeah, sure, okay, I'm fine.
I legit had my 4 main Discords that I try to be active in. I just couldn't open them because they were just unavailable.
I mean, if you mean by active, looking at it and just doing nothing else, then I'm active in every Discord I'm in.
Oh jeez, I'm not. There are Discords where I'm in there, but I just right click, mark as read.
You're just there.
Yeah, it's because I get way too spread out. I get way too just everywhere, and I wanna be everywhere at once all the time, but I can't. So,
I get that.
but I try.
Yeah.
But to be fair, this is a Voxcast about Warhammer, not Discord.
Yeah,
so
true,
let us
true.
move some, it's a Voxcast about Warhammer, the Warhammer community, and the people in the Warhammer community, and Warhammer. So I want to start with what I have taken to calling the friendly interrogation, which is just asking some questions about your experience with Warhammer and such. So starting off, as always, how did you get into Warhammer?
Well, first came into contact with Warhammer through Total War, Warhammer 1. I don't remember when that came out, but
Yeah.
that was my first exposure to Warhammer itself. And then later,
Okay.
Warhammer 2, of course.
Yeah. Well, actually, in the previous episode 4, I actually talked a lot about Total War Warhammer with Dutch, and we talked a bit about Total War Warhammer 3 and what we think might come in that. So let me ask you, what do you think is gonna come specifically in Total War Warhammer 3? We can Kislev demons. That's a given.
Yeah, I mean, more fleshed out chaos, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Because currently it's there. It's
It
there,
is, but
that's about
yeah.
it. It's not interesting.
I'm a bit interested that because in the trailer there they showed us, and I'm gonna try not to go too far into it, so it just doesn't become episode 4 again with someone else.
Yeah.
But I am a bit interested because in the trailer they showed us 4 greater demons, right?
Yeah.
They showed us a Keeper of Secrets of Slanesh, a Great Unclean One of Nurgle,
Oh yeah.
a Bloodthirster of Khorne, and a Lord of Change at Siege. And this is just me, right? Because I never really felt that in Total War Warhammer 2 that chaos, it felt more like chaos undivided, so to say, right? Like I never felt that any of them aligned to any of the specific chaos gods.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just oh yeah, we worship chaos. Nothing in particular, but
Yeah, Archaon the Ever Chosen, I believe, is meant to be chaos undivided. He needs the boon of everyone, right?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. But I think Sigvald was Slanesh.
yeah.
And I don't remember the third one.
The Kolak Sun Eater.
Yes, that's the guy. I Khorne, maybe?
It's sorta, but more undivided.
Yeah,
It's
he
odd.
doesn't feel like he feels more like to the Khorne section, but not entirely Khorne.
Yeah. I just hope that in Warhammer 3 they give Chaos more love.
Yeah, would be cool.
And Skaven.
Yeah, we actually. This is actually I'm gonna continue on this subject a bit more now because I actually spoke about this with Dutch on episode 4. Because if they do develop Chaos a bit more, the Great Horned Rat is technically a Chaos God.
Not technically. He is a Chaos God.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, he is the Chaos God, but that's...
It would be kind of cool to have some more like depth and mystery developed around the Great Horned Rat, I feel.
Yeah, because like it would be nice because currently he's a bit vague.
He has a name that, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's got a name. You sorta maybe know what he looks like, although it was a bit in the clouds. And I hope
we have an idea, but yeah. It would be cool. I kind of hope that would be the case, especially if it is like if Total War Warhammer 3 is the end times, right? Because the Skaven did have a lot to do with that.
They
because
started
they
it.
crashed the moon, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Ikit Claw blew up the moon because it's a warp stone.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much the end times, really.
Yeah, like there were a lot of epic and notable battles up to that, but that was like the end. That was the final.
Yeah, it was like the final catalyst.
Yeah, so the Skaven are of course very important in that event and how it resulted. So I think that it would be a very, very good chance to develop the Great Horned Rat a bit more.
Oh, it definitely would be, and I'd love to see it.
Imagine a greater demon of the Great Horned Rat.
Vermin Lord. Oh. Oh.
Could be cool. Could be really cool.
Oh yeah.
So when you first got into Warhammer, you got into Warhammer through Warhammer Fantasy and Total War. What faction was like your first interest? Was it the Skaven or was it something else that put you in?
It was the Skaven, and I stayed with Skaven.
Was it Skaven that made you like want to go? Oh, I want to try this from the get go, or?
Well, the first thing I actually played were High Elves with Tyrion, because well, easy. So yeah, fair. It was like looking at how does the game work and what are mechanics and the basics,
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is really boring. Because High Elves are boring. Like, come on, let's be creative. Let's not do High Elves. But, then I went, like, looking at, what are the other options? And then I just listened to what they all said when you click on their portraits.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got to Skaven and I was just sold. I was sold, and it started all with a quick head taker of Clan Moors.
Yeah.
I was just in love.
I think it was a bit similar for me. Like I got Total War Warhammer 2 was the one I started with, right? And I got in and I saw that there were like fantasy trope dwarves. And I was like, yes, absolutely, yes, this is it. And then I just heard those voice lines and yeah. I love the Dawi. Yeah. And I did grow to sort of the Tomb King sort of grew past the Dawi in the top 3 list, but the Dawi are amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree. Like, in my case, then like Dawi and Tomb Kings are both in second place for me. Like, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't like a tiny grumpy man that writes
with
in books?
Organ guns.
Yeah.
Like, I love those organ guns to bits. They're amazing.
And just big barrels that shoot flames. Like, come on.
Yeah, jeez. Oh, it's great. I mentioned in episode 2, and I'm gonna mention here again. And to anyone who's listening to this, I'm not lazy. I didn't take 2 weeks without installing Total War Warhammer 2. They're just recorded very close, because I said in the last episode that I'm gonna install Total War Warhammer 2 again. and I haven't yet when recording this episode. But they're not recorded 2 weeks apart like they're released. I'm not that lazy, but yeah, I definitely need to. Install it again. It's been ages.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
I mean, we really got to play a game together again.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I was gonna ask when did Warhammer Fantasy kind of like bring the other franchises into light for you? Like when did you stumble upon 40k or AOS or so, right?
I mean, I actually stumbled upon 40k years before I found Total War.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't know what it was.
I mean, yeah. I think a lot of us had like, yeah, because we had heard Space Marine or Warhammer 40k or something.
Yeah, because I was just looking at art stuff just to get some inspiration for drawing, which I never made, by the way. And I just saw like Space Marine there, and I was like, oh yeah, shit, looks cool. And I remember distinctively like Space Marine 40k. And then years later, like, I found the hobby, and then I thought back to the moment, and I was like, what the fuck? I've known this for years.
Yeah, I know that I was a bit like that, like, I had heard about, like, Space Marines and 40k, and it was mostly through, like, interactions with other people, but it was generally... like, and this doesn't reflect on the community as a whole. It was just bad luck on my part, right? But just a few bad apples that tended to compare everything else to 40k, right?
No, yeah, that.
And I unfortunately kind of let that deter me in a sense, right? But it was when I watched the Astartes series that just like, why did I never give this a chance? This is cool. And now that I've gotten into it, like, the community is probably one of the best communities I have ever encountered. Everyone is encouraging, friendly, and just overall amazing people.
Yeah. I mean, well, the only one in the community I've honestly talked to is, well, you. But I've, like bought and watched Discord and, like, on YouTube videos and stuff, like, I have been reading everything and listening to other people, and I'm like, oh, damn, sounds like a nice community every time I hear it and read it. Oh,
it really is. Everyone,
it's so much better than the WoW community.
Oh, jeez, yeah, that's a whole other can of worms as it was. Oh,
toxicity incarnate.
But yeah, the Warhammer community is absolutely amazing. And not to say that the World of Warcraft community can't be amazing too.
Yeah.
It just has a few more bad apples here and there.
Yeah, I mean, it's with everything. Everything has rotten apples, but just gotta look past that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, everyone can end up in the wrong section of a community. Like, there's always a chance to just stumble upon the wrong people and have the worst of luck. But
I mean, like, well, this is related to WoW as well. But like, you've been in that guild as well. But I've been in that guild for, I think, 4 years now.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Yeah, but about 4 years, and it's almost since the beginning of that guild. Yeah. And 3 of those years, I've actually been a staff member as well.
Yeah,
I still like being in there. I don't play WoW that much anymore, but
yeah, I don't even have a subscription at the moment.
Nah, but like, you know, I didn't let the toxicity in the game or sometimes in the guild itself like deter me. Like, it's something that, you know, you love, so you look past all that stuff.
Yeah. Plus, if you persist, like, if you give up, then the people who are trying to make it a toxic environment win. Yeah, but if you persist, you can help maintain the community as a good thing instead. And like the guild you are in there, for example, it's a long-lasting community of people who are almost always good people. Of course, there's the odd bad apple, as I said, here and there that joins. But
plus side of being like a staff member, I can kick those people out the guild. It's like if you give in to them, like they win.
That's the thing.
You go on, keep on playing, you meet like new people. Like that's how we met as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was.
And sometimes you love something so much and play it for so many years that you actually get it tattooed on your lower arm.
You speak from experience.
Yeah. Looking at my lovely whore tattoo right now. And looking at, spoiler alert, where the place where I'm gonna get a tattoo of the great horned rat.
Oh, wasn't it the symbol of the great horned rat, or was it?
Well, I'm actually gonna get a more realistic one, but take out most of the details so it actually works on my hand.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Back of the hand or palm? Back of the hand, I imagine.
The back of the hand, yeah.
Yeah. Would be a bit awkward in the palm, geez.
Yeah, because that would be really, really small and would go away really quickly.
Not to mention, slightest movement you do can just change the the shape of the canvas, so to say, and just mess up the shape.
And it's really painful because nerves.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. But yeah, and as you mentioned there, you're in Baltimore's Discord, and I am as well, and I have encountered not legit only amazing people, because we are all just brothers and sisters of the community. We're all fellow hobbyists. We're all bound by this passion for the hobby, whether it's for 40k, AOS, fantasy, and it doesn't even have to be hobbying, like building miniatures. There's so many people who are just into the lore and the story.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes down to it, we're all there for the same reasons.
Yeah, we're there to make Games Workshop rich. No, but it's honestly such an amazing thing, and it is given so countless hours of fun conversations with people that has just been wonderful, and getting to know people who are just wonderful. It's been amazing.
And having seen tons of people share art from themselves or other people as well.
Yes. Not to mention the hobby work, like the miniatures.
Oh, mate.
And I always feel so sad in a sense when someone doesn't feel like they can share their mini because it's their first mini, right? And again, it comes down to a few bad apples, but we can't let those toxic people win, right? Yeah. We gotta persist, and I would always encourage anyone, share your work, even if it's your first mini, if it's your 100th mini, share it. If someone is being a C-word about it, ignore them. They are just trying to push themselves up by pushing someone else down. Most of the people are always going to appreciate it and just admire it for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And when, especially when it's like your first miniature or whatever kind of art piece it is, it doesn't really matter.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It doesn't
especially have to be if it's your first, absolutely put it online, because people, especially within the community, from what I've seen so far, 9 out of 10 they will say something negative about it, but then give you a tip how to improve on it at the same time.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
So like in my case with the edge highlighting, which I'm still okay at, but but they will give you a tip on how you can improve that or make it easier on yourself or things like that.
I wouldn't say that I've personally observed it as being something negative, but generally just like giving some tips and advice on things. And one of the things that has been really useful is people who have been in the community a long time tend to know a lot of the paints that are available off the top of their head.
Yeah.
And they can easily advise, like, you're trying to paint a face, right? And they can suggest a paint that might work better for a certain skin tone, and just generally amazing advice. Overall, the people in the community are wonderful and helpful, and absolutely share your work.
Yeah,
it might be scary in a sense to do, but it's gonna be worth it in the end, is what I personally feel.
Yeah.
I did want to talk to you a bit, moving on from that subject a bit. I did want to talk to you because you are, not getting into, you've been doing it for a while, but you are advancing a bit in 3D modeling with the plan of getting a 3D printer and printing stuff.
Yes.
And I'm a bit curious about how being into a hobby like this, like Warhammer, where there is a lot of, they aren't 3D printing them, but miniatures like that, and there is a lot of 3D printing from the community, if that has inspired you or kind of taught you anything in any way.
I mean, that actually is pretty funny reasoning why I'm getting a 3D printer on my own. Because, I'm Dutch. I'm cheap. I don't like to pay for a lot of things. So I'm like, if I can get my skill up to that level, I can somewhat copy it and don't have to pay that. Loopholes.
Oh, jeez. Of course, though,
but
without us, the community buying the miniatures,
yeah,
Games Workshop wouldn't be able to provide us with this amazing universe.
I mean, it's gonna be like, of course, eventually, like, I'm gonna. Obviously, I will make my own Skaven, absolutely. But will I stop buying from Games Workshop? Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. It's kind of it reminds me. I asked on Twitter a while back, because it's, especially now during the pandemic, it's been relatively big with Tabletop Simulator, right?
Yeah.
And I asked if Games Workshop made an official digital variant of the tabletop that you could play online, would that change the way you do your hobbying at all? And some didn't want the digital variant at all, but overall it was like, I would love to have the digital variant to like test out an army, or just play the odd game with someone who's very far away, but it would absolutely not make me buy less minis. The hobbying is such a, the assembling and painting is such a core part for so many people.
Yeah, I mean, I get that with assembling and painting, because I honestly, we've played it, also, although attempted to fully finish a game.
We need to play again sometime, by the way, because I have learned a lot more. So.
Yeah, but we've done that, and all the while that we were doing that, I was like, okay, I like this, but I don't see myself playing the actual tabletop.
Oh yeah.
And I started the hobby. It started out with actual models. Like, got 2 planes, Second World War planes, and a Second World War tank.
Oh yeah.
And that's how it started. And then it was like, I like Skaven, why not try it out? So I did it, and I got them standing all together. I'm like, I don't want to use them on a tabletop. I feel like it's a waste.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they look too good to be used like that.
I mean, yeah, to each their own. Like, I got into the hobby with the intent of, so I saw the Astartes series made by Sayama Peterson. I might be pronouncing that wrong, and I was like, dang, this is cool. And I was inspired to sort of try to get into the lore, and I started getting into the lore as best I could. I spoke to a friend who knows 40k a bit since before, and I was like, this chapter, the Space Marines, they're a custom chapter. Can I make my own custom chapter? And I was like, yeah, I can. It's like, cool, I'm gonna try to make my own. And I started just thinking of ideas, right? And I made like I used a Space Marine template on Bolter and Chainsword, I believe it is called, to sort of make a color scheme. And I think like 1 or 2 days after, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go down and get some Space Marines and try this out. I had like absolutely no confidence in my ability to paint, and I thought in some way I thought going down there that like I'm gonna get this starter pack that is like 3 Primaris Intercessors. Cool. I'm gonna give it my best, but I don't think it's gonna be for me, right? But good lord, here I am with almost a full company of Space Marines painted.
Yeah, like I like remember. I remember when you started out, like just a couple Space Marines, and just then a couple weeks later was suddenly like, oh, look at this, and we do what the fuck, calm down.
Hey, I've bought 9 Blade Guard veterans, and yeah,
like
I went on a friggin' spree buying like the Indomitus box Space Marine bits from eBay. Jeez,
like you've been buying like mad, in my eyes at least, and I haven't. You're not
alone in that opinion.
I haven't bought a single Warhammer miniature in, I think, half a year at least.
Has it been that long since you got your Skaven? Jeez.
It's been that long since I got my Chaos Marines.
Oh,
I got my Skaven start collecting box first.
Oh.
Okay. I've had that for almost a year and it's still not done.
Time sure does fly.
Yeah. Plus I'm taking my time because if I paint I've tried out batch painting and that's something I should not do at all.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
It gets it done faster, but it's mentally very tiring, and physically as well for me.
Oh, this reminds me of in Voldemort's Discord. There's a member of the Voldemorty called Mortarion, or he goes by Mortarion, and he painted. I forget the name of them, but they're Death Guard units. Jeez. But he legit had 80 of them to paint.
Oh my.
I need to look up what they were now. I have Games Workshop open here for just this use.
Just this moment.
Armies of Chaos Death Guard. They were Poxwalkers, I believe. Yeah. And legit 80 of them, and he was so sick of them at the end.
I can understand.
Yeah, jeez. I'm like that because like if I buy a Intercessor pack, right? They usually come as a box of 10, I believe. Yeah. But it's usually the same, like it's 2 units of 5. So you have the same sprues twice.
Yeah.
So that you can make 2 identical units. And I usually just make 1 unit and then leave the other one for a while to pick that up later so that it doesn't get the same thing over and over as much, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, to each their own. Some people prefer batch painting.
Yeah.
And all the power to you if you do. It's just, I could never. It's, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, I've tried it out, and, like, normally I'd, like, paint 1 mini and just spend, like, 5 hours on 1 mini. And then be just as tired as when I spend about 5 hours on 4 minis.
Yeah.
And, well, even more tired when I do the batch painting, and that's...
There is something that I personally, though, feel is kind of more rewarding when you've spent all the time on that 1 mini.
Yeah.
And it's, like, the way I see it, right? You spend those 5 or maybe even 10 hours on things like, I take Space Marines, for example, like a company captain, a chaplain, like... those unique units. But if you're just doing regular intercessors, maybe not spend as much time on it, because I mean you can if you want, but it's gonna be way easier to burn yourself out. Plus, like it's better to find sort of like an easy way to do it in a sense. and keep that special stuff for the special units.
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion. Like, everyone can do however they want.
Yeah, I mean, like you said before, to each their own. Because I pretty much when I paint one mini, and then the next day I paint another one.
Yeah.
And that's also due to the fact I don't have a lot of money, so I can't like do the entire box in like 2 days and then buy more stuff. Like, I can't afford that, so I'm just taking my time. When I'm done, I'm probably able to buy another box.
Neither can I. I'm just irresponsible.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it.
I've been very much into just painting like some like one man unique models. Like I've been doing my I did my Primaris Sanguinary Priest. I've been working on my chapter champion. I was working on something else. I entirely forgot what it was. I did a librarian a while ago. That's what I was thinking of. So I've been very much into making these just like standalone, unique units in a sense, and I enjoy it. Plus, I've been getting like a lot into kit bashing, so getting to really kit bash and spruce up these one standalone models is, at least to me, a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I can totally see like kit bashing being fun.
And speaking of kit bashing, because I haven't actually mentioned that in this episode, I might have mentioned it in the last one, but Lokmhar here is actually the creator of the Skaven Marine we showcased in the first episode with the miniature apothecary. And I believe you promised to show us progress at some point.
At some point, yes. I mean, recently I got a few more different colors of paint and prior versions of paint I already have, so soon I will start painting him.
Soon, TM.
But I have done some progress on him.
Yeah, you added shoulder pads.
Yeah, I did that right after the episode got online. But
yeah.
But I added like the power pack on his back. Nice. I cut off the jet streams. And just took a few bits from sprues that I cut up, because I cut up all my sprues and just throw them in a box just in case I'll ever need them. I don't know why, but sure.
Yeah, useful to make like one of those things is like a just cobble kind of base.
Yeah,
like,
or just melt them.
Yeah,
which does look very satisfying, by the way. But like I cut up like small bits and then carved them up a bit to make them look like quote unquote warpstone, and just glued them on.
Oh,
and now it's gonna look like it's powered by warpstone instead of
that.
I'm guessing
sounds
electricity,
radical.
Magic.
I don't
organic
know.
material.
I think
poop.
I think the like packs are rechargeable. I don't actually know off the top of my head. Jeez, but I'll have to check that out. I wouldn't be surprised if the chaos ones are just chaos warp stuff though.
I'll just, for the time being, I'll say they are powered by organic matter.
Yeah, sure.
Because I don't see any zippers on any Marine, so...
That is because that is actually a sort of debated topic, I believe, because it's sort of back and forth. Like, some say that their power armor has
internal,
basically filtrations. Yeah. Some say that since they are genetically modified anyways, that's just something that's kind of genetically modified away from being a necessity at all. So it's kind of a semi-debated topic, but it's not stated in lore, and well, I don't think it really needs to be. Like,
I think my idea is the best. It's just organic matter. It's powered for the power packs. There we go. Lore confirmed.
You heard it here first. Lore confirmed. I should really put a warning ahead of this episode, like warning. Lokmhar is a bit of a wacko.
Yes. A bit.
Prepare yourselves for the utter chaos. Jeez.
Oh, maybe that's the reason why I love Skaven so much. I'm just as chaotic.
Probably. Yes. You're slowly mutating into a Skaven.
Nice.
Nice. What's the long-term plan for the Skaven Marines? How many are you gonna make?
Well, I'm the first, at least the first goal is what was mentioned in the first episode by Miniature Apothecary.
I believe a warband.
Yes. 500 point warband.
Oh yeah.
But that's gonna wait a long time.
Yeah.
Because I've looked it up, like what fits the best. Because currently the Skaven Marine has a Plague Priest head.
Okay.
So that's it does look a bit weird. It looks good, but weird.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, it's a Skaven head on a Chaos Space Marine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it can fit in the lore, but that's a debate for a whole other stuff, for a whole other day. But
yeah, that's a whole other can of worms again.
But like the Skaven head that fits better is like the Storm Vermins, because they have like armor on their heads.
Oh yeah, so it kind of goes together a bit more with the actual power armor in a sense.
Precise.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and
because
like the Warlock,
the one you had like a hood kind of thing. Yeah,
and like the Warlock engineers as well with their gas masks.
I'm learning in this episode that I have no knowledge of Skaven models. I'm just sitting here like, I'm taking your word for this entirely.
I mean, like you know, Chaos Cultists, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like those kind of gas masks, but more in the shape of a rat.
Yes.
That's pretty much a Warlock engineer.
The Skaven are from AOS at the moment, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here. Oh, like the Scryer Acolytes?
Yeah, you could take those as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I just opened their page on...
yeah, it's like the first one you see, right?
Jeez.
What was the second one?
The Warlock Bombardier is the first one.
Yeah, I had a Bombardier, that was the first one.
Yeah, and then it's the Battle Tome.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time looking at that page.
I like the Doomflare, jeez.
And somehow resisting buying.
I think it's more so your wallet resisting than you resisting, actually.
Yeah, fair enough.
If I were to guess.
My wallet's like, no, slaps me in the face.
If I were to make an educated guess. They do have some really amazing sculpts though for their models. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've also like looked at the older Skaven models, like the fantasy ones when...
Yeah.
Well, I can't say that when Warhammer Fantasy was good, but like I wasn't into the hobby by then, so I can't say anything about that. But other people say.
Okay, yeah.
But no, the Skaven models, like especially the older ones, the first versions, I imagine. No one has ever told me from when they were. But the original Skaven models, they are smaller than the current ones. Like when I heard that and looked at my own models, I was like, how can this be even smaller? Like, do you want to have a molecule or something? Jeez. There will be nothing left.
Yeah, jeez. I've sort of been like, because I've heard a bit about the epic scale models.
Ah, yeah.
Which
the scales.
They are tiny, jeez.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm impressed by anyone who like puts real effort into painting those. Jeez.
Oh yeah, well, it's not gonna be me, that's for sure. And I have magnifying glasses as well.
Oh, jeez, that's more than I have. What a professional.
Well, I pretty much have to, because otherwise I cannot see any detail whatsoever.
Fair enough. So, here's a curious question for you. If you were to design a model of the Great Horned Rat, how would you make it look?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, well, you know the ending of Warhammer 2? Like, well, do you know the Skaven ending? Or...
Oh, no, actually, I don't know the Skaven ending.
Because, like, the Great Horned one, he just comes through the clouds. And it's just... That's pretty much all you see, and just, like, take that, his head right there. But, well, make it a bit more worn.
Just add a body.
Yeah, add a body as well. I mean, there is art of a full body version of him.
Okay, yeah.
But I would like, because he mostly looks like a vermin lord.
Yeah.
Which I honestly think looks alright, except for the body. Like, they look just like, well, Beastman version of Skaven, which, in my opinion, doesn't look good. But like, make the body more Skaven-like. It's a bit more hunched over and a bit more chaotic, actually.
Oh yeah.
A bit less uniform as well, because the horns are symmetrical.
Okay, yeah.
And like, if you look at Grey Seers, when they have horns, they're not fully symmetrical. They're a bit, but...
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, when I saw the models, the artwork for him, I was like, this looks way too clean. I mean, I get...
Yeah, you'd like a bit more of that gritty, like, torn cloth, just ragged look in a sense.
Yeah,
like
the embodiment of the Skaven, because the Skaven are his children.
Yeah.
Some would say creation, but they're his children.
Again, they are rats, right?
Yeah.
Rats aren't really known for being around in clean and well-kept and fancy places, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they naturally have that kind of rugged, dirty, broken-ish appearance, right?
I mean, that's fun little knowledge bit for you. Skaven, the rats themselves are actually opposite from real life rats. In that sense, because like, they live in the same sort of environment, except for like the plague and shit. But actual rats are clean as hell.
They have Skaven blight. Oh, jeez. Okay.
Like, if you pick, like, I don't recommend doing it, but picking up a rat from the wild, it actually gives you less chances of getting any diseases than if you pick up a mouse, because a mouse is really dirty. Mouse, he will clean himself in any kind of water he finds.
Just the Inner Sanctum podcast does not recommend that you go out and find a bunch of rats in the forest.
Yeah, please do not do that.
Just knowledge. Take it in with your ears. Don't do.
But like, to quickly finish it, rats will find the cleanest water.
Okay.
They will try to find the most clean water nearby and just clean themselves in there. If there's muddy water, they're gonna skip that.
Well, the more you know. And yeah, I just remembered the story of how I believe it is the story of how Skaven Blight was made, right?
The Doom of Kavzar.
Yeah, I spoke a bit about that in episode 2 with Kermit, if memory serves.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love that story in general. It's a great story.
It's the best origin story. It's like, it's like perfect for Skaven as well, because it's absolute doom, chaos, and death. And it's vague at the same time.
Yeah, and it also has this like just element of horror.
Yeah.
In a sense, because you just have this like, they went to bed, they woke up, the tower was finished, and there was the bell, and suddenly things just went down the drain. Like, they managed to open up the entrance to the dwarves, and everyone was just dead inside.
Yeah, just a pile of gnawed bones and flesh.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, like, the red eyes started popping up everywhere. And
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a great like origin story there for Skaven Blight and the like appearance of the Skaven.
Yeah, and then like, but it's still fun. To be the funny thing is that like Talea doesn't deny the existence of Skaven, but the Empire does.
Oh.
Yes, the Empire does, and anything about the Doom of Kavzar is erased. It's gone.
I mean, I can imagine how much chaos just the fear of that would cause.
Yeah, I mean, what would give more chaos? Like suddenly getting attacked by giant rats, which you have been told that don't exist, but now do? Like, that would give chaos within the Empire.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, just
riots.
The fear of, like, just the fear in general of knowing that they can just come anytime, and there might be a massive freaking undercity underneath the city. And just, like, I think that fear would affect a lot of people. Plus, not to mention, there might even be, you know, those stereotype people who always try to seek them out and bring about the doom because they're angry for something.
I mean, don't they do that with chaos as well?
Fair.
Like,
fair
chaos
point.
isn't denied, but
yeah.
So,
Which I believe it sort of is in 40k, because the warp and chaos isn't a widely known thing for like citizens of the Imperium. Mainly because, if memory serves, the Emperor basically, if the idea was that if they don't believe in the Chaos God, that doesn't the Chaos Gods that doesn't feed them the same power. I could be remembering incorrectly, and I do apologize if I do. And it was obviously a mistake there, because they don't feed off of belief; they feed off of the emotions and aspects that they embody.
Yeah.
But if memory serves, it is a relatively well-kept secret, and just in general, like, you could have legit like traitor legions, and it would probably most likely be word bearers who were trying to just deceive and infiltrate, in a sense, right? At least the way I see it. Who could just dress up in clean power armor instead of chaos-looking ones and show up, and they could show up on a planet and be welcomed as Space Marines, because that planet might not even know that the Horus Heresy happened. They might not even know that Space Marine legions went traitor. Might not even know what chaos is.
Yeah, I mean that's like a downside of being spread so vastly as well.
Yeah,
like
it sure is.
Like, I don't know a lot about 40k, but like things that I've heard mainly from you is like that there are planets that the Imperium doesn't know about, or like knows like there is a planet, but what that planet holds, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
we haven't been there yet.
Forgive me if I get some things a bit off here and there, because my memory isn't perfect and I haven't memorized the entire lore, but basically there was the original like colonization of the galaxy by humanity, and then it was all cut off by this like massive warp storm, right?
Yeah.
And all of these colonies, original colonies, were lost. And eventually then came the era where the Emperor emerged, or at least revealed himself, and was like, you guys can't do anything without me, let me guide you and let me unify humanity, blah blah blah. And so he first he made the Thunder Warriors, then he made the Primarchs and made the Space Marine Legions from the Primarchs genetics. The Chaos Gods, he heated the Primarchs around the galaxy, and he was like, I need to find them and also maybe conquer the galaxy at the same time. So he started doing that with the Space Marine Legions. And during that time, they rediscovered a lot of the original human colonies and brought them into the fold of the Imperium, as it were, right? But given the vastness of the galaxy, it isn't impossible at all that there is a planet that is one of the original human colonies that they just haven't stumbled upon yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the galaxy is pretty big.
It's pretty fucking big, yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely a possibility. And then again, like, even the planets that are within the Imperium, like, again, the Imperium consists of what is like around 1 million worlds, but that is constantly going up and down because worlds are more or less every hour being either lost and conquered or just taken back or everything like that, right? So it's never a stable amount. So it is absolutely a galaxy of constant war, and there's always a possibility that there are planets that just no one has really stumbled upon yet. And as I was going to say, like, the vastness of the Imperium, getting information out to the entire Imperium is not the easiest, I imagine.
I don't know. I don't think that would be very easy, no.
Near.
I mean, it's like that whole thing as well. Like, there is something I want to say, and some people might get triggered by it, but I love that.
I'll put a warning on
like,
before the video.
That reason, like that, not everything is known, which well speaks for itself. Like, that's one of the reasons where I'm like, why don't we have 40k Skaven Games Workshop? What the fuck? I mean, they fit in. There is this tiny bit in the Imperial Library, specimen of Ratman.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, then, if you say that, people say, like, oh, the smelter rats. Yeah, so?
I mean, again, like...
Skaven, come on.
40k is massive, and there is so much room for homebrew.
Yeah. I mean,
like
one of the other things is as well, like, I thought of this a couple days ago, actually.
Yeah.
Like, you have the Necron tier and the old ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at Warhammer Fantasy, Age of Sigmar, you have the Lizardmen, children of the old ones.
Yes.
Yeeted into space.
Yes.
And then you have things like Skaven pulled into the warp after the end times. The warp being a thing, the Chaos Gods being the same.
Yeah, because the warp...
The art for the Emperor looking exactly like Karl Franz.
Hey now.
When he was still alive.
The Emperor is not Karl Franz.
Maybe it's his twin brother, who knows?
No, I don't think so, because if memory serves, the Emperor was created by a gathering of basically like old Earth shamans in a way, who were basically like early psychers.
I mean, with the Emperor just tickling me, like.
Yeah.
I just feel in terms of some things, they do look a bit the same.
Yeah, but like, the thing is, the warp is sort of the gateway between 40k and I think both AOS and fantasy in a way, right? But also time doesn't really matter in the warp because it's the Immaterium, so
exactly.
Everything exists at the same time and also at different times in a way. It's meant to just not be understandable, right?
Yeah, I mean, like with Chaos as well, like they use the warp to go to places.
Yeah, I mean, so does the Imperium.
Yeah, like, you can definitely traverse the warp.
Yeah.
So,
I think there is just, like, I think if I were to personally speculate, there are, like, different ways to traverse the warp. So, for example, like, the Imperium, they use their, the Gellar fields, if memory serves, which are, like, shields, to protect in the warp. And they shift into the warp, travel, and it's like basically traveling through the nether in Minecraft. You go a bit and you go further than you actually did in the warp when you go back outside.
Yeah.
But I think there would be like a more not standard way of traveling, so to say, like just traversing through the dimensions. Like, it's the warp, okay? It's meant to just mess with your head.
Yeah.
But so I don't think that just going in a straight line, you're suddenly going to find yourself in Warhammer Fantasy, right?
Yeah, no, that
So I think
that would be weird.
I think it is more something that the Chaos Gods are more so capable of traversing. But if you just go, I'm gonna try to find a different dimension, then you're gonna be a bit out of luck. The only other dimension you're gonna find is the warp.
Yeah, but if I feel like if that was a possibility, that you're a dude in the 40k universe, and you go through the warp into the fantasy universe, you'd have to be like a really powerful dude. If that was possible, you have to be really pretty damn powerful in order to not go absolutely mentally insane.
one
Unless you
could
like
debate
that.
maybe the Emperor would be on such a level. Again,
I mean,
it's
would a
difficult to
corpse
sort of-
really be able to do that?
I mean the Emperor in his prime.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
At the moment, he can't really go places.
No shit.
They just put the entire freaking golden throne on some wheels.
It's like, oh yeah, who do you worship? Yeah, I worship this corpse.
Yeah, I mean,
We feed him psychers daily against their will.
1,000 of them. That's not up to them.
He's a corpse.
No,
does he do anything? Nope.
He's a very corpse-like psyker.
He's just a corpse. To me, he's a corpse. He's a corpse.
Well,
Long live chaos.
You don't know.
What? Who said that?
So, curious here, because obviously, like, you would go with like a Skaven variant of Skaven in 40k.
Absolutely.
But if you were to choose like any of the already like specific lore existing 40k factions, which one would you feel resonates with you?
Necrons.
Necrons?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I should have guessed that you played Necrons when you played.
Yes. And you're sending me a box of Necrons.
I am, yes. Any particular reason for why Necrons?
Well, they are like the second faction that I saw in 40k.
Okay. Well, yeah.
You could say third, but I don't count orcs since, well, they're orcs. Pretty standard in terms of anything fantasy related, sci-fi related. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
that's fair.
Yeah, like, let's keep it canon. They were the third ones that I saw.
Yeah.
And they were so different. Like the Imperium
I can
and
get that.
like
yeah.
so of course I saw the Space Marines and the Chaos Marines, and I was like, yeah, okay, they're the same but sort of different, but they have the same basis. And I saw the orcs and I was like, yeah, they're orcs with guns.
Yeah.
They look cool, but
and
yeah, okay.
Very
they're
British accents.
And then I saw the Necrons, just damn scary robots. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then I saw this. I don't remember what the cinematic was called, but I saw a cinematic with them, and one of them died and just got back up again, and was like, oh my god, it's awesome. And
I don't know which one that is.
Necrons, they remind me of Tomb Kings.
Yeah, actually, when I went down
yeah.
to the Warhammer store, when I first got into the hobby, I actually went down to see, are there Tomb Kings models I can get?
Oh, yeah.
I really want to get that. I think the guy at the store was like, yeah, we don't make those anymore. But if you want some Tomb Kings, you can probably go for Necrons. And whilst I see the similarity, it doesn't really fit the same for me personally.
Yeah, I mean,
but I definitely see the similarity. And, Necrons are really cool. I do like their story as well.
I do like that. Well, of course, they're seen as Xenos. Fair enough.
They are, yeah.
Fair enough. Depends on whose eyes you're looking from, but hey. But they depicted as vicious and evil, and scary, and just straight up murder on sight. But I got a little bit, thanks to Baltimore, I got more into the lore of the Necrons, and they came across to me as actually quite calm and calculating, unlike anything else I've seen.
I think that highly depends on because you do have the flayed ones.
Yeah.
Who are pretty absolutely just...
They're fanatics.
Well, yeah. They skin you and pull your skin over themselves to feel like they have skin again.
Yeah.
Like, geez. But then when you have these, like, the higher ones, like the dynasty leaders and stuff, if memory serves, they were like kind of... When their body was made for their Necrontyr mind to be put into, the higher ranking ones were sort of given a better treatment, so they had more of a personality to retain. So I think that's why you have those, like the Silent King, for example, the tip of the top, who is so very much just calculating and smart and doesn't really do anything without a reason, right? So it definitely depends on what rank of Necron, but yeah, like all of them are definitely not just savage.
Yeah, they're not like the orcs or Tyranids in that sense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure orcs can be calm as well when they're sleeping.
I mean,
if they sleep.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I'd be surprised if they do sleep.
I mean, I'd imagine that after a long day of chopping and shooting and stomping.
So here's a question. They are sentient fungi.
Yeah.
Do mushrooms sleep?
Actually, they do.
Okay.
Or, well, it's not really called sleep, it's called hibernate. It's like a couple hours where it just stops doing anything and just... It's like a human body. It like stops working when you're sleeping, sort of. And just build everything up. Like, build your energy up again.
Okay. You know a lot about rats and mushrooms, jeez. But... Okay, maybe they do. I don't actually know. I think again that I think that's one of those things that isn't really stated.
Yeah, I mean it
I don't
does.
know if we've ever seen it.
It does vary with things like some mushrooms can, some mushrooms don't. But same goes for plants as well. Some do, some don't.
I moved back to orcs, but
yeah, but maybe with the orcs, like maybe some do sleep and some don't. Like, who knows?
To be fair, the orcs are, well, they're insane because the entire species is psychically capable.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, like someone could have picked up a gun from a dead orc and open it up, and it's literally just a rusty spring in there and nothing else. But the orc believed it worked, so it worked.
Yeah.
So the orcs could just believe that they have already slept, or just believe that they don't need sleep, and poof.
I mean, I don't know why they don't believe that they can kill every space marine, but hey.
Because they aren't unified enough.
And it would make for very boring lore. And a very boring game. Very one-sided.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's another thing. Like, they could just will a planet into no longer existing, but they aren't unified enough for that. Yeah. A single orc doesn't have the psychic power for that alone, and the orc species as a whole, or a Wa, isn't unified enough to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's like pretty funny, because the Skaven are like that as well. Like, they were not unified, always backstabbing, didn't do much. Great Horde Rat was like, yo, get your shit together, work together, do it now, screw them up. And they brought along the end times. They shot the moon out of the sky, like,
I mean, we've seen how much damage an Orc Wa can do when it actually is big, because Hell's Reach, and I know I mention Hell's Reach a lot because it is one of my favorite books.
Has a great animation.
But that was
as well.
that too. And I believe that was the biggest Orc Wa that the Imperium had faced to date. And I mean, it pushed back this unified fleet of the Imperial Navy and several Astartes chapters, including the freaking Black Templars with the Eternal Crusader. and they didn't succeed in the end, but Hell's Reach, Armageddon came to a sort of stalemate because it entered a season where neither orcs nor humans or space marines could sort of survive being outside of the cities. So they kind of neither could do anything, but still they did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And there were a bunch of space marines holding them off. Like in the animation, for example, you see the 5 there with Squad Gromaldus. Yeah. But in the book, there's actually it's basically a company of Black Templars. There's 100 Black Templars stationed in Hell's Reach. Yeah. And Gromaldus is more or less leading that crusade, the Hell's Reach crusade. And still, like, most of those 100 died.
Yeah. Jeez.
And I like, because, again, in the animation you see Nerovar. He gets he is noticeably upset after Kador dies, and it hits a lot harder in the book as well, because at that point it's been like each day 5 of his brothers had died, and he sees all of that. He sees their pulse, like their life reading go out on his screens, because he's like all of their suits are showing their life signs in his because he's an apothecary.
Yeah, I know.
So he's just been seeing more and more brothers die every day. Each day there's more, and there were so many that their gene seed was not able to be recovered. Their body was not able to be recovered. So it was a lot of him during that time. So it really adds a lot of punch to those moments.
Yeah, it really does. But like, if you like imagine that, like the biggest war they faced. Imagine what would happen if orcs actually unified. Like that's pretty scary to think of.
That's the thing. That's why the main strategy is usually take out the warlord as soon as you can, because as soon as that warlord is out, there's going to be infighting of who's the next warlord.
Yeah.
And sometimes the walls can splinter just from that as well, and sometimes they can sometimes a war can be headed your way, and you gather every fleet you can and prepare, and the war just splits before it even gets there, because the orcs started fighting about who is the war boss. So, yeah, orcs are wacky, they're wild, they're dumb, they're insane, they're cool.
They're fun.
Not my style, but...
I mean, maybe one day I'll buy some orcs.
Yeah. The thing I like about orcs is that you can just toss anything together and it's orc. Yeah. They're the kit bashers of the universe.
Yeah, you get a piece of wood, and smack it on there.
Yeah, use all your sprues and build a tank out of it.
Yeah,
orc.
You got some old toy cars. Well, smack them together. See what you get.
Put them on the feet of an orc, and he has rollerblades.
Get a ton of old toys, and there you have a Warlord Titan. Orc version.
A scrap Titan, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. I was actually talking about that with Dutch in the last episode. Because we were talking a bit about Skaven there as well, because he has bought some Skaven to paint.
Oh, he's got some good taste then.
Yeah. And we were talking about the idea of a Skaven Titan. And I just kind of imagined something like the orc, imagine the orc scrap Titan, but you just have all these warpstone catapults just all over it, and it's sort of in the shape of the symbol of the Great Horned Rat.
Okay, you can't see my face, but you have started something, mate.
This is gonna be an expensive project. Jeez.
I mean, I could always just model it.
Could, yes.
I'm seeing it right in front of me right now.
Yeah. And that's another cool thing where, if we go back to the whole 3D modeling and 3D printing, is where you can express your own creativity that way as well.
Yeah, I mean...
because, like, Games Workshop makes a lot of amazing products, and I love them for it. But no one can have everything made, and it's like, all of us are there. I'm sitting here like, I want more Primaris stuff, because I'm a Primaris fanboy. I want Primaris Blood Angel stuff, like a Primaris Terminators, Primaris Sanguinary Guard. You sit there, you want more Skaven stuff. Someone sits, they want Eldar stuff.
Well, I just want red ogres. Actual red ogres, not those ogres.
Yeah.
Like, I want Chad rats, not virgin rats, you know?
But yeah, like, obviously, as much as we all want our faction to get new stuff, Games Workshop can't do everything all at once, and at the end of the day, it is a business. They have to make their money.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, they have to look like what brings in the money. Like, I can imagine that, like, the people that work for Games Workshop, or even the people all the way at the top themselves, are like, oh, I really want this, but that is a better option. So
yeah, it wouldn't be impossible. Yeah. But that's a good thing, again, with like 3D printing, is that if there is something that legit just doesn't exist, you can try your best at making that.
I mean, the kit bashing as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, kit bashing is an excellent way to get things like that.
But like the biggest difference between kit bashing and modeling it yourself is kit bashing is, well, it limits you to what you have. Yeah. And 3D modeling, well, it's limitless. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, because there is that thing, because, like, I'm building a Space Marine with a power sword. I'm like, this power sword doesn't look exactly like I want, but it's close enough. But if you can 3D print it, it can look exactly like you want.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
But still, like, everyone doesn't have the skill and knowledge to 3D print or to model. You can obviously learn, but not everyone has the time or motivation, and not everyone has a 3D printer.
Exactly. And it's like cheaper than several years ago, but it's not like a budget thing to do.
No, it's definitely cheaper than and then a bunch of years ago. Then it was insane. Yeah. But it's both a much better quality and more accessible.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still like you gotta have some money to spare for that month when you get that. Like,
yeah, you really do.
It's not something to just impulse buy, really.
Yeah, but it's like what we were talking about earlier today as well. The sort of barge, the battle barge you want me to make.
Yes. Yeah.
But like like a couple days ago, that Tyrannid I'm gonna be making for you as well.
Yeah.
Like, because I personally, like, I don't mind making Warhammer stuff for other people. I really don't mind that. But I'm never gonna like copy anything.
No, that's the thing. Like, it's Games Workshop.
Yeah, it's like their IP.
Property,
so.
And of course there are all of these third-party websites that make, Space Warriors, Space Marines. But
that's like,
and
my morals won't allow that.
And like the battle barge there, for example, because I just want like something to represent what my homebrew chapter's flagship is, right?
Yeah.
But Battlefleet Gothic doesn't exist anymore, and again, like, I want something a bit more unique, a bit more custom looking, right? And same there with the Tyrannid. The Tyrannid is both because I want some. Well, I just want to paint more Tyrannids, really, and I'm really curious just what you come up with, really.
Yeah, I mean, I've already I've asked you 4 Tyrannids that you would want, and I've smacked them all 4 of them together.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see like the final result, because I just think it will be really cool to see.
Yeah, as am I.
Speaking of cool models, though, what do you think we move on to the miniature showcase?
I have actually been waiting for that.
I just realized that I should have probably saved 2 of these for another time. I was legit talking before jumping in to record this about how there are so many Night Lord ones that I may just do a Night Lord themed showcase.
Oh, sick.
In one episode, and now I just have 2 Night Lord things here when I could have saved them for the Night Lord specific one. But yeah, there will be more Night Lord stuff.
You live and you learn.
I do like Night Lords. So if it wasn't obvious, there's a Night Lord or 2 on this in this showcase, and starting with we have the Chaos Lord by none other than the Night Haunter. Grey Errant on Twitter, and again, as always, I will be linking everyone who I can link in the description below. I really love the wings on this. Like, it just adds such a Night Lord feel to it.
Yeah, the first thing I actually saw were the claws.
Yeah,
like the predominantly is blue, and then suddenly red and yellow.
Yeah, it contrasts really well though.
And then and then like the wings as well, like you said.
Yeah,
it's terrifying.
It really is.
It looks like it's gonna come down and just rip you apart.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's the thing, right? Because I do want to make Night Lords at some point, but I want to make them look incredibly terrifying. So I'm just kind of waiting until I have this really like determined idea and a way to do it, right? But Night Haunter here has really made a terrifying looking Night Lord, which is what Night Lords are all about.
Yeah, perfect embodiment.
Yeah, absolutely amazing work by Night Haunter. And we have some more Night Lord stuff, but not only Night Lord stuff, we have some Death Guard as well from Tommy C or Thomas_Raptor on Twitter. Some Contemptor Dreadnoughts. And I do like some Dreadnoughts.
I mean, who doesn't? Like,
fair point. I just noticed that the Night Lord Contemptor has a skull head instead. That's really neat.
Yeah, I saw that as well. At first I was like, oh, it's just like a bit of a bone color, and now I look closer at it, I'm like, damn, that's a skull.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until now. Jeez.
Talking about making something terrifying, damn.
Yeah, and I love the I actually haven't looked on the Night Lord Contemptor on Forge World, but so I don't know if any of this is kit bashed or not.
Neither do I. So.
I love the flesh on his right knee pad to our left. Flesh. Yeah, real nice work on the lightning on the other knee pad as well. Also the can I remember? I think they are twin Volkite cannons. I could be wrong. I apologize if I am.
I'll believe you on your word.
Yeah, the weapons.
Yeah,
at least really nice work on them.
Yeah, pretty good.
And not to focus only on the Night Lord one, because the Death Guard one does look amazing as well.
Yeah, especially the way his head. I feel the way his head is. I've been sort of looking over back and forth and constantly looking at the head. It's interesting.
I really like the very vibrant green in the visor.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Also, absolutely nailed the rotten look. If that fits.
Yeah, it's a rusted look.
Yeah, rusted, worn, the Death Guard look. Amazing work by Tommy C.
I love it.
Yeah, great work. The next one is I've seen a lot of Space Marine stuff, but I haven't seen all that much Demon stuff all of the time. So this is a Slanesh Keeper of Secrets by the Brush Bro.
Yeah, which, funnily enough, was in a trailer for Warhammer 3.
Yes, I believe that was a Keeper of Secrets.
Yeah, it was the exact same one, actually.
Yeah.
Referenced from.
Absolutely amazing paint job as well. It's very clean.
It is way cleaner than I'll ever be able to do, but yeah, I am jealous.
Yeah, I am.
It's really nice.
Stunning.
I don't know if you have noticed it yet, but on the cloth on the hanging from the left hand or wrist, that highlight is
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Amazing highlight there. The claws are like, the claws on that hand as well.
Yeah.
Jeez. Also, very, very well defined, like musculature, like physique.
Yeah. It's surprising with like 2 arms coming from the same position.
I also dig that the horns are like, they're a noticeably different color, but not like a jarringly different color.
Yeah, it's not like here are some horns and it's the first thing you look at.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually do want to get one of these as a model and try to paint. Even though I wouldn't be able to paint quite like this, I do want to paint one.
I'd like to have like this one and the old one, like the previous one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because it's pretty funny because I saw the previous one of this today.
Oh, okay.
Actually, to me it looks more like a Tyrannid, but I was looking at it from pretty far away, so.
Oh, okay. Another one that I want to get, not to get too distracted here, I just have to look up the name of it. I want to get a Infernal Enrupturess. Another Slanesh one where she's basically just sitting and she's pulled out the like veins of someone from the back to make a harp of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. I want to get one of those to try and paint sometime. Amazing work, Brush Bro there.
Yeah.
And moving on to something I am really jealous of because I want this model.
Jeez.
I haven't got one yet, but I'm gonna get one. The chunkiest of chunks, the War Master Titan, by the very Forge of Mars. Jeez.
Jesus.
I love the War Master model. Like, I've loved the War Master model since they announced it. And I'm really jealous of every single person that has it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Can you imagine if they made a legit, like, big size Forge World resin one?
Ooh.
Because this one is bigger than the Warlord. This one is... I think the Warlord goes to about where his head is, I think.
Damn.
So he is big.
He's pretty big, yeah.
I know some people don't like the model shape, but I just love the chunk of it. Like, jeez. I need one. I need one. And not to just get stuck on how much I need one of those models. I love the way that the like green armor plates are textured.
Yeah, like it, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but could be wrong. It looks like brushed metal. If you know what I kind of mean.
I think I do, yeah. I think I do, yeah.
It's like not scraped, but it's not clean.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
But
I've
actually zoomed in a bit more because I was curious as to those eyes.
Yeah.
Because at first I thought I saw one, the 2 middle ones being off, like being black, but it's one that's just turned off. It seems.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's
interesting.
Like, there are a lot of just lenses, right?
Yeah.
And if memory serves, I think if you look, I could be wrong here. If you look slightly below the head and to the right and left, there are like some circles there. I think those are kind of lenses or sensors as well, because I believe there are like technically, like in lore, there are lenses all over for the princeps and the crew inside of the Titan to kind of see everywhere.
Yeah.
Or at least get data as much as possible.
I also like what I've seen on this one, and from the others that I've seen. Is like this one has more like distinct separate plates. It's more like plate. Like the contrast
more
on
like
the
a
rim.
Staggered plating, yeah.
The contrast on like the rim and the metal itself, like the green.
Yeah.
That's pretty high contrast. And that's
so I am guessing here that this is Legio Solaria, because that says on our left on the like scroll on the pauldron there, and I believe this Titan may be the last shadow.
Yes.
Also, it says, I think it says Solaria on the like heraldry shield below the gun on the left.
Yeah, Legio Solaria.
Which I think is a volcano cannon. I could be wrong.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it's a cannon because I don't know.
Yeah. Cannon go boom.
You go boom boom.
Yeah. I love this. Like, if you just look at the base, like it's tiny, but you can tell that that's a ruined building, and it just adds to the size of this thing.
Makes it just seem so much more bigger.
Yeah. I actually don't know how big a War Master Titan is in lore. I need to look that up.
I mean, I feel like
massive.
It should be if you like grab the model and just put it next to you, and it's the size of a small child, then it's good. Yeah. And then just, true scale.
Jeez. It's definitely not as big as an Imperator, but it's bigger than a Warlord, and Warlords are pretty big. I can't remember how big, but big. Amazing work by the Forge of Mars, and the Forge of Mars does like a bunch of Titans from Titanicus. And Titanicus, if you didn't know, since you're not entirely into 40k, it's basically Titans shrunken down so they're affordable and playable more like in a separate game that is Adeptus Titanicus.
Titan shrunken down.
Yeah, I have
just that. Pretty cool.
I have a Warbringer standing here on my shelf, and it's my hand in size, more or less. And last, we have a Mortarion by WarHamSandwich.
I love that name.
WarHamSandwich.
WarHamSandwich.
Yeah. I love whenever people do this kind of blue contrast on Mortarion.
Yeah.
And I like the fluorescent blue on the wings and slightly on the scythe as well. I never noticed this until now, just because I zoomed in. Is that a freaking chain scythe? I did not know that.
It does seem like it.
It does, yeah. That's wicked, and I love it. I have never noticed that before. Mortarion is one of those models that I would be terrified of painting, mainly because of how he's in the air and how he's standing, right?
Oh yeah.
Plus,
yeah,
I personally wouldn't really know where to begin when painting, right?
I mean, something like him, I would paint separately.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get what you mean, yeah.
Like, just paint everything separately and then put it together. Just to make things less stressful.
Yeah, in a sub-assembly, yeah. Absolutely amazing work on, like, the contrast between, like, you have the light blue wires, and they don't stand out more than they should. You, like, the skull on the knee pad and, like, the bone sticking out of his shoulder pad. It all looks natural. It doesn't... All of it fits.
It's all one image.
Yeah, it's really great. It's such a minor thing, but the like holes in the armor are amazingly like shaded.
Yeah, I was looking at that. And I was amazed.
Yeah, it's such a tiny detail, but it does so much.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Overall, an amazing model by WarHamSandwich. And again, all of these are going to be linked in the description as always. They are going to be linked if I can link them, which today I can, yes. Yep. All of them are from Twitter. Not every day I can, but this time I can, so that's good. Which brings us to the final segment of the Voxcast, which is the question of the episode. Which today is: if you could change the design of one model, which model would you change and how?
The rat ogres.
Yeah.
Like, get the current rat
make them more Skaven looking.
Do you know the current rat ogres?
I can bring them up real quick for myself.
Yeah, it's like I think they're in, like with Packmasters or something. I don't know the name of the product.
Yeah. Jeez. How would you change them though?
Get the ones from Warhammer Total War and throw them in there.
Oh, okay.
Just get actual red ogres.
Yeah, yeah, I see them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But that's what I would do.
It's kind of what I would feel with Croxigors from Lizardmen.
Oh yeah, you got those things as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they look old and they do not look like they do in Total War, and I have heard people say that those in Total War aren't what they are supposed to look like, but they are what I was introduced to, so that's what I want.
Those in Total War actually look like how you would describe Croxigors, if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree. But
yeah. To each their own.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure. But I'm trying to think of what I would change. Actually, I'm so bad at thinking of my own answer to these. I just spend all the time thinking up the question. Obviously, the Croxigor there would be one, but geez, I know that I've had something that I was. Yes. The Primaris Chaplain. I would give him a proper-looking Crozius that isn't a pimp cane. That is what I would change, personally. Because that is not a Crozius in my mind. Sure, it is, but it doesn't have any wings, so it doesn't really feel right.
Just quickly look it up.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Take your time. I can always cut things down in the edit.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pimp cane. Yeah.
I mean, it does look alright on its own, but...
I mean, yeah, it doesn't look bad.
It's not bad.
It just doesn't feel like a Crozius to me.
And I wouldn't, say that he's a chaplain.
Yeah.
Looking at that, I wouldn't say, oh, that's a chaplain. No.
Yeah, he needs a more Crozius-looking Crozius is all.
Yeah.
So that's my answers. And if anyone has listened this long in the Voxcast, feel free to give your answer about if you could change one model, the design of one model, which model would you change the design of and how? Feel free to answer in the comments.
And also put down in the comments if you have any need for Warpstone now after this.
Yeah. Do you feel like painting some Skaven?
If so, you're on the right track.
And now we do have on record from Lokmhar that we will be getting some updates at some point.
At some point, yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't forget to update my Twitter.
Well, okay. You have to now. You said it on the Voxcast. It's law.
Oh, damn. It's law. Shit.
That's the power of the Voxcast, didn't you know?
Oof.
It is spoken.
I already feel the Inquisition looking down on me. With hands on the trigger.
Yeah. Never really expected the Inquisition to wait for someone to make Skaven Chaos Marines, but yeah.
I mean, hey, at least I'm not making Skaven Primaris Marines.
True. Very true.
Though it wouldn't fit, so...
Yeah. But yeah, with the question of the episode done, that brings us to the end of the episode, which means that I really want to thank you for coming on the episode and being a guest here on the Voxcast, dude.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. I always love having people on, and it's always a joy to chat with different people and hear about their experiences, their views, and just chat Warhammer in general and other stuff sometimes as well. Yeah. It's always a pleasure.
Indeed.
So thank you so much for taking the time to come on, and hopefully this is something that I can keep doing for a while, and you can come on again in the future.
I would absolutely love to. Yeah.
But yeah, as to not drag the length of the Voxcast out too much, thank you so much for joining me here, and thank you everyone who listened this long for listening to the Voxcast, and I do hope that you enjoyed it. So I will see you in the next episode, and goodbye. You can say goodbye.
Yep, sorry. Yeah. Well, goodbye, everyone.